Could you tell me something about yourself? Where and when were you born and raised?
James Leon Hill, born August the 6th, 1941, in a place called Rocky Mount, North Carolina, at a home, not the hospital, by a midwife. Lived in several places during my childhood and teens. Those places being Newport News, Virginia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Richmond, Virginia, and New Haven, Connecticut. I started school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I did kindergarten through second grade. From Philadelphia, I lived in Richmond, Virginia, and attended a Catholic school for 2 or 3 years. From Richmond, Virginia, we moved to New Haven, Connecticut, and completed grades 5 through 12.
Did you play any sports or join any clubs during high school?
Yes, I played sports prior to high school. I played Little League baseball, ages 10 through 12. I played junior high school basketball, grades 7, 8, and 9. I played high school basketball and was a high jumper on the track team, grades 10, 11, and 12.
So I know you attended Morgan State. So could you tell me about your time during college at Morgan State?
I graduated high school in New Haven, Connecticut, attained a scholarship to Morgan State College from 1959 to 1964. My intentions were to teach school. I majored in history and education. I played 4 years of basketball at Morgan State, captain the last year. I also was a prominent high jumper, attaining a height of 6 feet 8 inches. Also, while at Morgan, I was one of 14 young men that had a lot in common that founded an organization that is national and international now. The organization is called Groove Phi Groove. During my time at Morgan, or that time, groove and groovy was terminology that was used often. So we incorporated groove with the Greek alphabet phi, groove. And in 1962, June 1962, we founded this organization, Groove Phi Groove. Today, we are a membership of over 40,000 members, being up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, Southwest, and the West Coast. Over 40,000 members. Also, we have a chapter in Ghana. Our fellowship emphasizes service, honor, and integrity, aiming to advance community life in the Black community. We have chapters specifically at the Black universities up and down the East Coast, being the Delaware State, Bowie, Morgan, Howard, North Carolina A&T, North Carolina College, Shaw University, and we are prominent in the communities.
Were there any world events happening that affected your teenage years?
Yes, there were world events happening. One of the most prominent was in 1955. A young man from Chicago went to Mississippi to visit his family. The young man's name was Emmett Till, and it should all be in the history books, how he was brutally murdered while in Mississippi. It stands out to me because he and I were the same age. We were 14 years old at the time that it happened. Also, the shooting of Medgar Evers in 1963 in his yard coming home at night. He was gunned down. Birmingham, Alabama, the bombing of a church, 16th Street Church. 3 black girls were killed. In 1963, President Kennedy's assassination. 1968, Martin Luther King's assassination or killing. In 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education, where the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the doctrine separate but equal because they were not, and in no sense of the word, equal.
During the civil rights era, have you or anyone you knew participated in protests, marches, or sit-ins?
Yes, I was directly involved myself. Year 1962 at Morgan State College. Morgan was surrounded by a place called Northwood Shopping Mall, which had theaters, restaurants, and we were demonstrating with sit-ins, picketing, and we met resistance from the people and the police. Some of my friends were arrested. Me personally, I was never arrested. But my experience in the civil rights movement.
Tell me about your time in the Army during Vietnam.
The year 1965, I was drafted into the Army, May of 1965. I spent 2 years in the Army. My job while in the Army was military pay, making sure that the troops were paid in Vietnam. I was sent to a place in South Vietnam called Cam Ranh Bay. There were sprayings of the forest to clear the forest so that the U.S. soldiers could find the Viet Cong. The U.S. used a herbicide, Agent Orange, to clear the forest.
How did the military affect your life after you became a civilian?
Agent Orange played a prominent role, as I had mentioned, in Vietnam. Not knowing the end results at the time of Agent Orange and what effect it would have on the troops, many of the soldiers contracted serious cancers, which were involved in causing many deaths over the years. And people are still dying from the Agent Orange. The Agent Orange caused me personally ailments, which were diabetes, prostate cancer, and many skin ailments, which will be with me for the rest of my life.
Thanks, Granddad, for taking your time out of your day to do this interview with me.